Part 188. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1871. Chapter 1871. Take it away, I don't need it. Uncontrollable jealousy made her hate Xiao Mian even deeper. Now Xiao Mian has everything she wants. Identity, status, career, love. What makes Xiao Angzhen jealous the most is that she has Mo Yesie's favor. This is something she dreams of but cannot get. If she could have Mo Yesie's favor, if she could get this man. Even if she were to die immediately, she would have no regrets. I'm a little sleepy, I'll go back to the room to rest first. Xiao Angzhen glanced at the closed door again, turned around and returned to his room. Song Ke stood there for a while, then turned and returned to his room. After a while, the door to Xiao Angzhen's room opened. She walked out of the room with a cup of brewed tea. After standing for a few seconds, she walked from Xiao Mianmian's room with the tea. Walking outside Xiao Mianmian's room, she hesitated for a few seconds before reaching out and knocking on the door. After a while, the door opened. Xiao Angzhen looked up and saw the tall and straight figure of the man, as well as his handsome face hidden in the shadows, and his heartbeat accelerated uncontrollably. She bit her lip, her voice trembling a little, and handed over the teacup in her hand. Mo, Mr. Mo, this is the tea I just made. It's such a hot day, you should drink some tea. When Mo Yesie saw that the person standing outside the door was her, his expression turned cold for a moment. Take it away, I don't need it. After he finished speaking, he was about to close the door. Mr. Mo. Xiao Angzhen looked at his indifferent look and felt angry and sad. She didn't want to miss such a good opportunity. She said hurriedly, "Are you waiting for sister? Sister should be back after a while." "There is nothing here, Mr. Mo must be bored staying alone in the room. How about I go out for a walk with you? We can go shopping while waiting for my sister to come back. The scenery near this village is pretty good, What are you?" The moment the man's indifferent voice filled with disgust rang out, Xiao Angzhen felt a wave of cold air rushing toward her. It was so cold that she almost couldn't help but shiver. She was stunned and raised her head in surprise. The moment she met Mo Yesie's eyes, her whole body seemed to be enveloped by an extremely cold air, and her body became stiff and unable to move. The cold air seemed to have penetrated into her bones. She opened her mouth, but no words came out. "Mr. Mo, I. Stay away from me, you look very annoying. Mian is not your sister, you don't deserve to call her that. A woman like you is off-putting to people, and you are not even 1/10,000th as good as Mian. I think if you show off in front of me, I'll take advantage of you." Every word Mo Yesie said was extremely mean. There was no face left for her at all. After finishing speaking, he saw that she was still standing, her face darkened, and she said gloomily, "Don't you understand? Get out of here right now." Xiao Angzhen's face turned pale. She was frightened by Mo Yesie's appearance. "I was hit hard by his merciless words just now. He said that she was not even 1/10,000th as good as Xiao Mian. In his eyes, Xiao Mian is really that good." Xiao Angzhen didn't believe that there was no man she couldn't conquer. Suzie was also very serious and honest at the beginning, looking like a good man. "Aren't you also showing resistance when facing her approach?" But what happened later? End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1872. Chapter 1872. Chapter 1876. Your diligence is in vain. She hasn't taken it down yet. There is no man in the world who is truly determined. How can there be a cat that is completely free from sexual misconduct? Mo Yesie, it's just a little more difficult to do. It just takes a little longer. She won't just give up. Just as she could Suzy away from Chiao Mian, she could also Mo Yesi away from her. Chiao Angzan raised her head and looked at the face in front of her that made her very excited. She took a deep breath and forced a smile from the corner of her lips. Mr. Mo, you just came here, so you should be tired. Since you don't want to go out for a walk, then have a good rest. If you need anything, just call me and I will come right away. Mo Yesi looked at her coldly, without any warmth in his eyes, and closed the door with a bang. Chiao Angzan almost got into trouble. The moment the door closed, her face darkened instantly. Are you rushing to show your goodwill, but you are rejected, a sarcastic voice came from behind. Song K witnessed the scene of Chiao Angzan serving tea to Mo Yesi just now, and couldn't help but sarcastically said, it seems that you are really unfamiliar with your boyfriend Chiao Mian. His attitude towards you is worse than that of a stranger. Song K has thoughts about Mo Yesi. Seeing Chiao Angzan being so attentive just now, of course I felt uncomfortable. Chiao Angzan was furious. Hearing this, he turned around and saw Song K's gloating expression. He said solemnly, this has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with me. Song K curled his lips, but his eyes were full of ridicule. I just think it's funny. Some people don't know how to hide their thoughts, and people can see them at a glance. In this world there are so many men out there, so it's not a good idea to keep an eye on your sister's man. Chiao Angzan was exposed and became angry and said, Song K, don't talk nonsense. You know whether it's nonsense or not. Song K tugged at the corner of his lips disdainfully and said with a smile, I'm not the only one who saw it, everyone saw it. You rushed to show your courtesy like that just now, everyone. If you are not blind, you will not be able to see anything. However, your courtesy is in vain. I don't think anyone is interested in you at all. Song K, Chiao Angzan and Song K Xiao were originally on the same side. After all, they all disliked Chiao Mian. But now, because of a man, the two of them turned against each other. Song K, if you have the time to worry about these things, I think you might as well focus on the rumors you spread to smear Chiao Mian. When the time comes, if you are found out, it will be the end for some people. How will netizens treat you and me? I don't know, but I know that Chiao Mian will definitely not let you go easily. If she says a word, you will no longer be able to stay in the entertainment industry. Just wait to be banned, then I'll see if you're still in the mood to laugh. At this point, Chiao Angzan seemed to have seen the tragic situation of Song K being banned. She felt relieved all of a sudden, and a cheerful smile appeared on her face. The smile on Song K's lips suddenly solidified. Chiao Angzan, what are you talking nonsense about? There was a hint of panic in her eyes. What does Chiao Mian's matter have to do with me? Don't talk nonsense. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1873. Chapter 1873. The Mo family cannot afford to offend anyone. Chiao Angzan looked at her guilty look and smiled. You should know very well whether I am talking nonsense or not. But it doesn't matter if you don't admit it now. Anyway, we will soon find out who did it. Of course it's best if it's not you. If it's you, I'm sure your end will be miserable. By the way, didn't you ask me what Chiao Mian's boyfriend does? I didn't think it was necessary to tell you before. Now I feel it is necessary to let you know. In this case, your death will not be unclear when the time comes. Song K's eyes became even more panicked after hearing her words. She kept moving her eyes up and down, trying her best to stay calm, and said, I said, Chiao Mian's matter has nothing to do with me. Don't frame me randomly. Also, her boyfriend's identity has nothing to do with me, you tell me. These things don't interest me. Really, Xiao Angzhen smiled, took a step forward, leaned into her ear and lowered his voice, Song Ke, I know you must have done that thing. It doesn't matter if you don't admit it, sooner or later you will be punished. Find out. Do you know who Xiao Mianmian's boyfriend is? He is the president of the MO group and the second young master of the MO family. Do you think you can still survive in the entertainment industry with just a word from Xiao Mianmian? Can you be stronger than the MO family? I think you should be mentally prepared early and announce your withdrawal from the circle, so that you can disappear with more dignity. Song Ke opened his eyes wide in shock and raised his head suddenly. Her eyes were full of shock. What are you talking about? Xiao Mianmian's boyfriend is from the MO family. That's right. Xiao Angzhen smiled again. It's easy for him to ban a mere little artist. Song Ke, you are really not very smart. You know why I have always hated Xiao Mianmian so much, but I didn't dare to do anything to her. What to do? Do you think I can't think of a way? If it weren't for the backer behind her, I would have taken action long ago. By the way, I might as well reveal another secret to you that not many people know. Do you know that besides having the MO family as her backing, Xiao Mianmian is also the daughter of the Bai family? The Bai family has been looking for their daughter for more than 10 years. It's her, and now I've finally found her. I can't help but feel pain for her. You said that you have offended the girlfriend of President Mo's family, and you have offended the daughter of the Bai family. Is there any way for you to survive? Song Ke was so shocked that he couldn't say a word. Xiao Mianmian's boyfriend is actually the president of MO Group. The rumored youngest president in the history of MO Group. How can it be? Didn't everyone on the internet say that he was just a branch relative of the MO family? Song Ke suddenly thought of what her sponsor had repeatedly told her. At that time, her sponsor repeated many times that they could not offend Xiao Mianmian's backers. It's just that she didn't take it seriously. No matter how much she thought about it, she never expected that the backer behind Xiao Mianmian would be so powerful, beyond her imagination. President of the MO Group, the second young master of the MO family. Her financial sponsor can be considered a person with background and status, but compared with the people from the MO family, he is not even qualified to be mentioned together. In this cloud city, the Mahist family is an existence that no one can afford to offend. Even top wealthy families like the Gong family and the Yan family, who have good personal relationships with the Mahist family, are ranked behind the Mahist family. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1874. Chapter 1874. Since you don't appreciate it, forget it. Xiao Angzhen looked at Song Ke's frightened look, and raised the corners of his lips with satisfaction. After she said these words, she turned and left. Song Ke stood there, his face instantly turned pale when he thought of the possible consequences. Song Ke, what's wrong with you? Are you feeling uncomfortable somewhere? Xiao Xiao came over and asked confusedly when he saw Song Ke's unusual behavior. Song Ke opened his mouth. Just as he was about to speak, he saw a familiar figure walking into the yard. It's Xiao Mianmian who's back. In the past, Song Ke would not have a good look when seeing Xiao Mianmian. In her heart, she also looked down upon Xiao Mianmian with great contempt. But now, when she saw Xiao Mianmian, she only felt scared. Xiao Mianmian turned out to be the daughter of the Bai family. Many people know that the Bai family has a daughter who is missing. For so many years, the Bai family has been looking for her. But it has never been found. Song Ke didn't know if what Xiao Angzhen said was true. Maybe it was just to scare her. However, just the fact that Mo Yesi was the president of the Mo family was enough to scare her. If what Xiao Angzhen said is true, then Xiao Mianmian could indeed ban her with just one word. Chiao Mian walked into the yard and saw the two people standing in the yard, with no intention of saying hello. She walked directly past the two of them. Chiao Mian Song K hurriedly called her. As soon as Chiao Mian stopped, Song K ran to her side. She said with a bit of flattery in her tone, "Your boyfriend is here and waiting for you in your room. Fortunately, you came back so soon. I just saw Xiao Angzhen going to find your boyfriend. I don't think she has any good intentions. You should be careful about her." Xiao Mian turned her head and looked at her doubtfully. "Song K, what do you want to say?" She would not think that Song K was kind enough to remind her. "It's nothing, I'm just reminding you." Song K pursed her lips. She was no longer as arrogant and domineering as before. When she spoke to Chiao Mian, her tone was flattering. "Xiao Angzhen stole your boyfriend before. It's better for you to be careful. For people like her, if you rob someone once, you may get it a second time. That's between me and her and has nothing to do with you." Song K's overtures were not accepted by Chiao Mian. She looked at Song K with distant eyes. "I don't need you as an outsider to worry about the matters between us." Song K, who had a warm face but a cold butt, couldn't help but stiffen his face. I also kindly remind you." "Why are you like this? Are you kind?" Chiao Mian mocked unceremoniously. "I don't need your kindness, so I'd better save it for others." "Chiao Mian, you." Song K's face turned blue with anger. He was about to get angry, but thinking of what Xiao Angzhen just said, he endured it. She gritted her teeth and said, "Since you don't appreciate it, forget it." Chiao Mian gave her a cold look, turned around and left. "Song K, what happened to you just now?" After Chiao Mian left, Xiao stepped forward and said with confusion in his eyes, "Don't you dislike Chiao Mian? Why do you still?" Song K didn't want to say more. Her face turned blue and she said, "I'm a little tired. I want to go back and rest for a while." Xiao watched her leave in confusion. She became more and more curious and confused when she thought about how Xiao Angzhen and Song K had stood together and talked for a while, and then Song K became like this. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1875. Chapter 1875. Follow me back. What exactly did Xiao Angzhen say to Song K? Asterisk. After knowing that the person who came to see her on the show was Mo Yesi, Xiao Mian felt a little uneasy. She stood at the door for a while, then reached out and gently pushed the door open. Mo Yesi suddenly came to the program to see her. She guessed that she had seen the news. That's right, this matter is quite a big deal. How could Mo Yesi not know this? He had always disapproved of her recording the show before, and he was afraid that he would be even more opposed after learning about it. Chiao Mian was a little worried about what she would do if Mo Yesi objected strongly. The moment the door opened, the man sitting in the room turned his head and looked straight at her. The four eyes face each other. Chiao Mian paused for a moment, then continued walking forward. "Mo Yesi, why are you here? Hasn't the company been busy these past 2 days?" Chiao Mian asked, pretending to be confused. There was no expression on the man's handsome face, and Chiao Mian could even feel that his face was a little gloomy. It was completely different from before. When I saw her, she had a gentle and doting smile on her face. Chiao Mian walked up to him and opened her mouth. Just as she was about to speak, he reached over and pulled her into his arms. She staggered on her feet, let out a slight cry, and fell onto him, and was held tightly by him. "Follow me back." Mo Yesi's tone was domineering and forceful, not allowing anyone to negotiate at all. Chiao Mian was just about to hug him and play coquettishly, but after hearing these words, she couldn't help but froze in his arms. Mo Yesi looked down at her with cold eyes. Mian, Come back with me. Don't record this show again. Chiao Mian knew that Mo Yesi would definitely object to her continuing to record the show. Unexpectedly, the two of them had just met and he would immediately talk about it. She raised her head. Mo Yesi, did you see that news? Actually, you don't have to worry, I'm fine now. You are fine now. This is because you are lucky. But have you ever thought about what you would do if something happened to you? The police found drugs on that person. Have you ever thought about what happens if you are drugged? What will be the consequences? You're just trying to get away with telling me that you're fine, so I don't have to worry. Chiao Mian, do you know that I'm worried to death? I shouldn't have agreed to let you appear on this crappy show. Come with me now. I won't let you continue to take risks. I will ask someone to help you again. You choose the right variety show to record. The man's tone was not good, and it was no longer the gentle tone he usually used when talking to her. There was no intention of discussing it with her. He is here to take her away. After finishing speaking, he stood up, held Chiao Mian in his arms and was about to leave. Mo Yesi, wait a minute, listen to me. Chiao Mian reached out to hold him and said hurriedly, how about we discuss this matter again? Mo Yesi looked at her with a stern face. What else is there to discuss? After something like this, do you think I will allow you to stay here? Mian, I support your work and allow you to do some things. It's because I know you really like this industry, and I can't take away your interest. But that doesn't mean that I can continue to tolerate this if something like this happens to you. This matter is non-negotiable. You must go back with me. If you like to record variety shows, I will ask someone to reselect a few for you. You don't have to worry about resources. I can find you whatever resources you want. Mo Yesi hasn't been this strong for a long time. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1876. Chapter 1876. Do you want me to calm down? Under normal circumstances, even if it was something he didn't agree with at first, he would agree if Chiao Mian acted coquettishly with him. Just like this time I came to record the program. At first, he also disagreed. But this time, he had obviously made his decision and had no intention of discussing it with her. Mo Yesi, it's not a matter of resources. Chiao Mian bit her lip. Sister Xie fought hard to get me this spot. If I leave now, I will feel sorry for her. What happened this time was unexpected. No one expected it. After the incident, the program team has strengthened security. Now there are people taking turns guarding the show every night. The same thing will never happen again. I know you are worried about me, but I really don't want to leave. Mo Yesi, please calm down, please. We can discuss this carefully. You want me to calm down? The man's dark eyes were full of anger. My wife was almost raped. You want me to calm down now? Chiao Mian, do you think I won't have emotions, or do you think you are going to do this to me? It's not important, so I don't have to worry about this kind of thing. That was not what I meant. Then do you think I will allow you to stay here? Mo Yesi. Chiao Mian took his arm and shook it gently, softening her voice. I know you are worried about me because you care about me, and you don't want me to stay here anymore. Mo Yesi lowered his eyes and looked at her, his tone still strong. Since you know, then come with me immediately. Chiao Mian, what happened this time was really an accident. Chen Lauer has also been arrested now. This kind of thing will really never happen again. Please calm down and let's sit down and discuss it. Mo Yesi stood still with a gloomy expression on his face. You really want to stay? Is this show so important to you? Chiao Mian knows that he is a typical person who takes soft things rather than hard things. She thought for a while, took the initiative to hug him, and softened her voice. Mo Yesi, calm down first. Let's talk properly after you calm down. Even if you want me to go back with you, there's no need to rush. Let's go now. I just came back from school in the village. I haven't had lunch yet. Now I'm tired and hungry. You have to let me rest and eat first. Sure enough. She said this, and Mo Yesi's attitude finally softened. He frowned. You haven't had lunch yet. Chiao Mian nodded, blinking her dark eyes, looking pitiful. I cook for students at school, and I have to cook it for them before I can eat. I was halfway through cooking when I heard that my family members were coming to see me, so I rushed over right away. What's going on with your program team? The man frowned again, with dissatisfaction in his eyes. It's okay if we can't guarantee safety. Now even eating has become a problem. What else is there to record for this kind of program? Chiao Mian. This is how this show is supposed to be. Didn't I tell you before I came here? You have to earn your own living expenses. But our group is pretty good. At least we can have enough to eat every day, Sister Shen. That group all eats instant noodles every day. Mo Yesi's face turned even darker after hearing this. He felt that he had to take Chiao Mian away. This place where birds don't is not safe, and even eating has become a problem. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1877. Chapter 1877, Wait until I come back, and then I will settle the accounts with you. When he drove here today, it was as if he had taken 18 turns on a mountain road. After a long detour, he finally arrived at the village. Had someone not shown him the way, he would never have been able to find the place. In other words, if outsiders enter the village, they will not be able to leave without the villagers to guide them. Chiao Mian looked at Mo Yesi's face and felt that she seemed to have said the wrong thing again. She hurriedly made up for it, but we don't need to eat instant noodles. Yesterday I bought a pound of meat and a fish. Although it's not as good as at home, the food is definitely not bad. You know what I'm eating above, I will never wrong myself. Even though she said this, Mo Yesi's face still didn't look much better. Mo Yesi, I'm a little hungry. How about we eat first? You probably haven't had lunch either? We can just eat together. Chiao Mian just wants to calm down first, and then other things will follow slowly. He discussed. Anyway, when the time comes, she will probably act more coquettishly and say more nice things to him, which will eventually get him to agree to her staying. Mo Yesi pursed his lips and was silent for a while, then nodded, okay. Then I have to take a leave for a while. There is nothing to eat here, and the town will be better. Let's go to the town to eat. Chiao Mian herself didn't care about eating less, but she felt that Mo Yesi would definitely not be used to it. Mo Yesi nodded again, yes. Then let's go now. Chiao Mian held his hand. There is a soup pot restaurant in town that tastes pretty good. Sister Shen took us to eat there before. The taste is quite light, and I think it's suitable for you to eat. Good. Mo Yesi has no problem with what to eat. He would agree just because Chiao Mian said she was hungry. The two held hands and walked out of the room. Meet Shenfei, who also walked out of the room just now. When Shenfei saw them, she was stunned for a moment, then smiled and said hello generously. Mian, your boyfriend is here to see you. Are you going out? Well, we are going to go out for dinner. By the way, Sister Shen, let me introduce you, this is my boyfriend Mo Yesi. After introducing Shenfei, Chiao Mian introduced to Mo Yesi, this is Sister Shen, she takes good care of me. Mo Yesi still gave Chiao Mian a lot of face. He nodded towards Shenfei, hello, Miss Shen. Hello, Mr. Mo Shenfei also greeted him. Sister Shen, I'm going out for a while and want to ask for leave from Brother Zhao. Do you know where Brother Zhao is now? I just heard that he went fishing by the river. He should be back for dinner soon. As soon as Shenfei finished speaking, Qiao Mian saw Zhao Yuan walking into the yard. Beside Zhao Yuan, there was a man in his 40s. Zhao Yuan treated the man very politely, and the man looked like his boss. The two of them walked into the courtyard. The man saw Mo Yesi and walked over quickly. Mr. Mo, why didn't you tell me in advance that you were coming so that I could arrange for someone to pick you up? The man walked up to Mo Yesi and said respectfully, Mr. Mo, have you eaten yet? I'll let you go right now. People arrange it? No need, Mian, and I went out to eat. Mo Yesi's attitude towards this man was not good, and he even seemed a little angry. When I come back, I will settle the accounts with you. As soon as the man heard this, his expression suddenly changed, and he had a look of fear on his face. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1878. Chapter 1878. It's really good to be rich and powerful. Qiao Mian looked at the man, then looked at Zhao Yuan and said, Brother Zhao, I would like to take 2 hours leave, is that okay? Of course, Zhao Yuan said in a very talkative manner, you can take as long a leave as you want. Since Mr. Mo is here to see you, just stay with Mr. Mo. Mo Yesi invested 500 million and became the largest investor in this program. Moreover, Zhao Yuan had just learned about Mo Yesi's true identity. After being shocked, when I saw Mo Yesi himself, I was trembling with fear in my heart. I was so oppressed by the strong aura that I didn't dare to take a breath. Some people said before that Qiao Mian participated in this show because of her connections. Zhao Yuan originally thought this was the case. But now, he has no such thoughts at all. With Mo Yesi's status, he can put Qiao Mian on whatever program he wants. No matter how good the resources are, they can be obtained easily. Although the meaning of travel is a variety show with excellent ratings and many artists want to be on it, it is not so popular that it requires Mo Yesi's connections to get on it. If it was Mo Yesi's relationship, the resources Qiao Mian received would at least be the leading female role in a first-class IP movie. When it comes to Guangzai, people like Song Ke are the ones who use Guangzai. Speaking of which, Qiao Mian's hiding was quite deep. Her boyfriend is such an awesome person, and she is the kind of person who can do whatever she wants, but when she stayed on the show crew for the past few days, not only did she not make people feel conceited at all, but she was also very hardworking. Compared to Song Ke and Xiao Xiao, they are not much better. Zhao Yuan also had a meal. He has tasted Qiao Mian's cooking, and it is definitely the most delicious among the girls he knows. Who would have thought that her boyfriend would be Mo Yesi? What is the equivalent of this concept? It was a group of players participating in a PK promotion match. While others were still worrying about how to pass the PK, she directly got the promotion card leading to the last level, and she was also the default champion. Others participate in this program hoping to increase their popularity through this program. But for Qiao Mian, it is an option to participate or not. After all, any resources are easily available to her. Yes, just spend time with Mr. Mo. The man next to Zhao Yuan said, 2 hours may not be enough, otherwise, why don't you just stop recording the show today and give you a day off? Qiao Mian. Why does she think it's so easy to ask for leave? In the last episode of the program, someone also wanted to ask for leave, but Zhao Yuan and the others were not so easy to talk to. She silently looked at the man next to her for a while, and couldn't help but secretly sigh in her heart that being rich and powerful was really good. It can make anyone speak well. Mo Yesi took all this as a matter of course. After all, this is his daily treatment, and he is used to being treated like this. Well, let's take a day. Let's go. Mo Yesi clasped Xiao Mianmian's finger and led her out. Mr. Mo, walk slowly and be careful of the steps. Behind him, Zhao Yuan and the man beside him followed the two of them to the door, and stood at the door respectfully watching the two of them go out. Asterisk. A car was parked under a tree outside the yard. It was a black off-road vehicle. A group of villagers were standing next to the off-road vehicle, pointing at the black off-road vehicle and discussing in a low voice. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1879. Chapter 1879. It would be great if Xiao Mian could die early. This car must be very expensive. What kind of car is it? It must be a car driven by a big boss. Most people can't afford it anyway. I just saw a handsome young man driving the car. I heard he was here to see his girlfriend. I've seen it too. The young man is so handsome. I don't know who his girlfriend is, but I'm so lucky to have found such a good boyfriend. Isn't that right? The young man looks really energetic. I have never seen such an energetic young man in my entire life. Most of the people discussing were the aunts and uncles in the village. When they talked about Mo Yesi, it was as if they had found a good son-in-law, and their words were full of satisfaction and appreciation. The terrain here is remote and the conditions are not very good. Most of the villagers are poor. The best and farthest place I have ever been is almost the county seat. Although these villagers didn't know what kind of car Mo Yesi drove, they could tell that it was definitely a very expensive car. Because it was much larger and more imposing than the four-wheeled vehicles they had seen. While a group of people were discussing, Mo Yesi led Xiao Mian out of the yard. When the ants saw Mo Yesi, their eyes lit up. It's this young man, this car belongs to him. Is the one he is holding his hand his girlfriend? She is also a pretty little girl, just like a flower. I heard that this little girl was almost raped by Chen Laoer last night, and Chen Laoer was also a toad who wanted to eat swan meat. Fortunately, it's okay. Otherwise, if such a good girl was tainted by that toad, Chen Laoer, it would really be a waste. Who knows whether he has been defiled or not? I mean, he didn't succeed, but maybe. Before the woman could finish her words, she suddenly felt a chill on her body. When she raised her head, she was startled. The handsome young man whom she had praised just now, his eyes were piercing her like knives, and the gloomy expression on his face was scary. The woman is older. But he was still so frightened by the young man's eyes that he didn't dare to speak anymore. The same goes for the other women who were still discussing. It was obvious that the young man looked less than half their age, but the aura on his body was not that of his age. He just glanced at them. No one dared to speak out anymore. Mo Yesi led Xiao Mian towards the parked black SUV. The villagers surrounding them automatically stepped aside and watched the two people get into the car. Beside the black off-road vehicle, there is another car. That car was driven by Uncle Li, and there was a local guide in the car. Uncle Li and his car drove the way, while Mo Yesi followed behind with Xiao Mian in his car. Soon, two off-road vehicles drove away one after the other. The onlookers were still standing there, talking about the car as it drove away. Xiao Angzhen also stood at the gate, watching the off-road vehicle carrying Xiao Mian and Mo Yesi gradually go away, and her fingers on the door frame gradually tightened. His attitude towards her was extremely cold. But for Xiao Mian, there was tenderness and doting that she had never felt before. She hates Xiao Mian. She really hates Xiao Mian. It would be great if Xiao Mian could die early. Asterisk. It only takes half an hour from the village to the town. Half an hour later, under the watchful eyes of a group of onlookers, two black off-road vehicles parked outside a hotel. A moment later, A man and a woman got out of the car. The man is handsome and the woman is beautiful. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 1880. Chapter 1880. It seems you are not surprised. At first glance, they are a match made in heaven. The outstanding appearance of the two people attracted the attention of many people, and a group of people watched them enter the store. The boss stepped forward and greeted warmly, "Sir, Miss, are you two people?" "Well, two people." Chiao Mian held Mo Yesie's arm and said to the boss with a smile, "Boss, are there any seats upstairs? We want a seat by the window." The boss looked at Chiao Mian and said with a smile, "This lady looks a bit familiar. Did you come to our store for dinner 2 days ago? You were a big group at that time." "It's coming." "Well, I was here 2 days ago." Chiao Mian nodded. "I didn't expect the boss would still remember." "Of course I remember. I'm very impressed by your group, especially a little girl like you." "It's not common to see a beautiful girl like you," the boss said as he led the two of them upstairs. "This store looks very ordinary, but fortunately it is relatively clean." Chiao Mian knew that Mo Yesie had mysophobia. She had been to the store before, and after making sure it was relatively clean, she brought Mo Yesie here. When the boss praised Chiao Mian for her beauty, Mo Yesie frowned, with some displeasure in his eyes. Chiao Mian chose a place by the window with a better view and sat down. The boss handed the menu to her. She took it, opened it, looked at it, raised her head and asked, "I'll order a tomato pot, can you eat it?" "Well, you just order." "I'll eat whatever you order." Mo Yesie looked at the environment in the store and frowned slightly. Although he was a little disgusted, fortunately the store was relatively clean and he could bear it. "Then let me order." Chiao Mian was not polite to him. Anyway, every time he and Mo Yesie ate, he always asked her to order. Since the two of them were eating, she didn't order too many dishes. After ordering a few random dishes, she handed the menu back to the boss. She finished ordering and saw Mo Yesie answering the phone. He didn't know who called him or what was said on the other side. His face darkened. After a while, he hung up the phone. Before Chiao Mian could ask, he took the initiative and said, "The person behind your tomb who deliberately spread rumors has been found out. Do you want to know who it is?" Of course Chiao Mian wants to know. Although she had almost guessed it, if she was not sure, she might have guessed wrong. "Who is it?" she asked. "It's a female guest of yours this time, named Song K. She found someone to post that Weibo message to smear your reputation." After knowing it was Song K, Chiao Mian was not surprised at all. Because she had already guessed it. From the first time they met, Song K had an inexplicable hostility towards her. After that, the hostility towards her became even greater. Although Chiao Mian didn't know why Song K was so hostile to her. Mo Yesie looked at her reaction and said, "It seems you are not surprised." "Well, I have guessed who it is. Anyway, there are only a few people who can guess." Chiao Mian sighed, "But, I don't know why Song K is so hostile to me. Is this really how I behave? Isn't it bad?" "It's not that you are bad, it's that she is bad." In Mo Yesie's eyes, his wife is naturally the best. No matter how good a person is, there will be people who don't like you, but it has nothing to do with how good or bad you are. Whether you like it or not, there are many people who like you. End of this chapter.